Well, here to discuss the European Union Foreign Affairs Council's decision to endorse that French peace initiative is Emmanuel Nahshon, the spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Emmanuel, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Europe doesn't care anymore what Israel thinks, does it?
Well, it's hard to say because, when you speak of Europe, there is on the one hand the European Union, the Brussels bureaucracy, but then again you have also the member states. And when it comes to the member states, we do have a deep and friendly dialogue, if not with all of them, at least with most of them. So I would say that the picture is perhaps a bit more nuanced.
Well, on that exactly, according to Luxembourg's foreign minister, not a single minister at yesterday's meeting opposed the initiative. Where did our friends disappear to?
Well, and this is indeed something that we deplore because we believe that there is a fundamental mistake here by endorsing this kind of multilateral international conference. Actually, not only do you not help the peace process, but you hinder it because you comfort the Palestinians in a position which is of wait and see and not of coming back to the negotiating table.
But the French initiative explicitly calls for direct talks between Israel and the Palestinians. Why is the Prime Minister opposed when this is exactly what he's been calling for?
Well, because there is a huge difference between helping the Palestinians and pushing them really to negotiate directly with Israel and creating this kind of international platform who may later on be translated into something else. And we believe that the only way to move forward is direct negotiations. With the French initiative, we may very well be stuck at stage one, and stage one is absolutely negative. This is something that we cannot accept, and this is what we have been telling our partners in Europe. And by the way, not only in Europe, you can imagine that we have a very important dialogue with the United States of America regarding this particular issue.
Now, I've got a copy of the communique of the French Peace Initiative here, and it talks of highlighting the importance of the implementation of the Arab Peace Initiative. Is the reason we're worried about the French Peace Initiative because we're concerned that the French are going to try to impose a settlement on us instead of genuine negotiations?
Well, I would say that there are two aspects to it. First of all, we believe, as I said earlier, that the only way to move forward is direct negotiations. So anything which is not direct negotiations is doomed to fail, and we are losing precious time. This is aspect number one. Now, regarding an imposed solution, this is, of course, absolutely unacceptable. We have had very successful negotiations in the past with Egypt and with Jordan. There is no reason why we should not have successful negotiations with the Palestinians. The obstacle is not Israel. It has never been Israel. The obstacle is the Palestinian fundamental refusal to accept the legitimacy of our existence as the state of Israel, the state of the Jewish people. This is the fundamental problem, and this needs to be solved through direct talks with the Palestinians.
Well, if so, why not call the Palestinians bluff and say, yes, we agree to an international framework for bilateral talks?
Because an international framework would be counterproductive. By adopting the international framework, we would only create a situation of unrealistic expectations on the Palestinian side, and it would create high hopes which would crash and automatically bring more violence. And this is something that we do not wish for ourselves, and we do not wish it also for the Palestinians, because after all, they are our neighbors, and there is no reason why we should be condemned to a perpetual bloodbath.
Well, given that, is Israel going to participate in the international conference this year?
Well, first of all, we have not been invited. If you recall, this whole French initiative is, and this is one of the extraordinary aspects.
Haven't been invited yet.
Well, this is one of the extraordinary aspects of the whole exercise, is that actually people talk about us instead of talking to us. And this is, I would say, almost ridiculous. And this is why, by the way, we have those huge question marks concerning...
And if we receive an invitation, will we go?
Well, we will discuss it. There will be a decision taken by Prime Minister Netanyahu.
But no decision yet?
Well, there is no reason why we should take a decision before such an invitation has been issued. I don't believe that we will reach that stage, because at a certain moment the whole thing will peter out, because it's quite clear that there is nothing serious behind it.
Okay, well, last week the Director General of the Foreign Ministry hinted at behind-the-scenes contacts with the Arab world. Isn't it time to stop tiptoeing around the issue and speak publicly about this?
Well, we have not hidden that we have contacts throughout the Arab world. It's something which is extremely important because at the end of the day, any settlement between Israel and the Palestinians will have to be sustained by a regional platform. I think that this is absolutely essential. So we do have those contacts. We don't need to make everything public. This is diplomacy. We are talking here about the future of the State of Israel. So not everything has to be disclosed to the public at any given moment. But I can assure you that there are contacts and that we do feel that in the region there is a positive understanding also of Israel's needs. When we talk to moderate countries in the region, we share a common view of the dangers, of the challenges, and of the opportunities. And I can tell you, and it's no secret, that the biggest danger for all countries, for all moderate countries in the region, is Iran and ISIS. It's not Israel. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not even on the agenda.
So sticking with the regional framework, there are hopes that Israel and Turkey are on the cusp of a reconciliation agreement. Should that be signed, what sort of positive role can we expect Turkey to play in our regional strategy?
Well, this is, we are speaking here in theory because it has not happened yet and I cannot comment on the process. But of course, a reconciliation between Israel and Turkey would create a vector of stability which would be of utmost importance to the region. It would enable, of course, better bilateral relations between our two nations, which is something extremely important. I served in Turkey many years ago and I can tell you that this is extremely important for our two countries. And on top of it, it could help stabilize a region which is currently the most unstable and unpredictable region in the world.
Well, let's hope that we reach an agreement with Turkey to normalize talks. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.